Hey everybody, this is Crystal Carver, and along with Jamie Smith, we're going to present gender differences in creative thinking, behavioral, and fMRI findings. So the year was 2013. Some of the things that occurred that year were the Boston Marathon bombing, Prince George was born, Nelson Mandela passed away at the age of 95, there was a typhoon that hit the Philippines, there was also a gas attack in Syria, actor Paul Walker died in a car crash. Two pandas, baby pandas, were born on July 15th at the zoo in Atlanta. And Pope Francis became the new leader of the Catholic Church, and he was also the first pope to sign on to Twitter. And what made this study different was most studies in gender differences involve mostly behavioral investigations. But this one was different because it was involving neuroscience as well as behavioral investigations. And neuroscience, if you don't know, is actually the structure or function of the nervous system as to how it relates to the brain. And I'll, tell you the honest truth, this was a very difficult article to get through because of all the terminology that was used. And it was kind of hard in some points to keep track of what was actually going on. But the study itself investigated the impact of gender on creative thinking in terms of behavioral as well as brain activity. Now, I was going to play the video for you, but I tried it once and went back and looked at the video, and there's a lot of feedback on the audio, so I'm just going to let you view this on your own. It actually shows you what an fMRI is about, and it's pretty neat because it's actually involves Alan Alda. He's the one you're looking at right now laying on the bed that goes into the machine, and a doctor who is actually at MIT who is very well versed in the effects of this machine and what it can actually do. So one of these machines was used, or maybe more than one, where the people who participated actually laid in the machine, had access to a type of button where they could respond to the prompts or questioning, however the information was put forth to them. So I'll let you watch that. Alright, in case you're wondering why there's a picture of a shoe with a Snapple bottle inside of it, one of the things they were looking for in this study was conceptual expansion. And basically what that means is, actually conceptual expansion is a very important operation when you're trying to formulate new ideas, and refers to an ability to actually widen conceptual boundaries of acquired concepts, which include novel elements. And one of the examples they gave was to take a shoe and find something original or, highly unusual that you could do with the shoe besides wearing it on your foot. They actually gave the example of using the shoe as an ashtray, which I thought was a little strange, but I've actually seen people use the shoe as a drink holder, so that's why I found this picture. But there were two objectives to the investigation. They wanted to assess the effect of gender differences on behavioral performance across tasks that differ with regard to the involved cognitive processes. So they started with stuff that was pretty simple and went to more advanced things, like trying to figure out a different use for the shoe. And they also wanted to access the impact of gender differences on brain activity and two different contrasts that assess creative conceptual expansion and general divergent thinking. Whew, that's a mouthful. So, oops, wrong side, guys. Let me back up one. Okay, these are the participants. There were 28 people altogether who participated in the study. 14 were male and 14 were female. All of the participants were right-handed. I'm not really sure what that had to do with anything, but some of you may know that. They were all native German speakers. There was no history of neurological or psychiatric illness in any of the participants. None of them were taking medications. And the groups were matched on the Hamburg-Welchler Intelligence Test for adults. And the age range for males was 19 to 30. For the females, it was between the ages of 20 and 25. And the tests were pretty intense and a little complicated to understand, but we're going to provide you with the results, and that's going to be on Jamie's portion of the facilitation. So that wraps it up for my set.